Here we are. Here we are. What's going on, everyone? Courtney Rollins with Life and Transitions Experts podcast and the Do REI Deals channel. Check both of them out on YouTube. Do REI Deals, do real estate investing deals, and the Life and Transitions Experts podcast. Both are designed to help folks who are attempting to be problem solvers in people's lives. Quite often, I'm a real estate wholesaler is one of the main hats that I wear, and one of the ways that I'm able to find properties is by helping folks who are going through the probate process in North Carolina, specifically in Durham, but it seems to be all over North Carolina, sometimes even outside the state. Quite often there's property involved, and more times than not, the person or the estate, it's their best interest to sell the property, whether they're trying to have funds so they can distribute to beneficiaries, to heirs, or they may even need to pay off debt or some combination of the two. And sometimes they want to keep the property, and I'm able to help them find ways to keep the property. I get asked quite often about wholesaling from friends and from other people who are interested in being practitioners. I was in that same space when I came across wholesaling. Shout out to Max Maxwell. That guy's been like a Moses for folks leading the way to the promised land of wholesaling. Shout out to Brent Daniels as well. His work over at TTP and the Wholesale Inc. company has been amazing. And shout out to there's tons of people I could just spend the whole podcast shouting out because they've been so helpful in helping me on my journey. And so I'm just trying to pay this forward and help people on their journey. So here is a quick 10-step guide to becoming a real estate wholesaler. And real quick, what is a real estate wholesaler? That's not a real estate agent, that's not a broker. It's essentially just like when someone wholesales shoes or wholesales food, there's a space where you can wholesale your food or stuff to a retail buyer and then they'll resell it. My job is to get properties at a deep discount so that I can transfer that to the end buyer, whether that's the investor, whether it's myself, quite often it is an investor. Sometimes it is an end user like a home buyer, but quite often it is to an investor or to myself to keep in my portfolio. And you may be asking who in the world would sell their property at such a deep discount. Well, the truth is, not many people. Well, there are actually many people is the truth. But when you come look at the overall percentage of the real estate market, about 95% are better served if they want to sell the property to a real estate agent or a broker. If you're one of those 95%, still reach out because I can connect you with folks on my team that can help you get that top dollar you're looking for. However, about 5% of the market is always in distress, some form of distress that they don't have the time or don't want the inconvenience of the really the effort and the investment it takes to get your property ready for sale. And that 5% is not a small number. It's a very large number, and it's changing every day because you have wholesalers, because you have investors, you have cash buyers who are providing solutions to people's problems. So when people are willing to trade speed and convenience for a discounted price, that's where we're able to step in, solve that problem, and then create another opportunity for all the multitude of people that are involved in a real estate transaction. And so I love wholesaling. I love working in real estate. I love solving problems, and that's what I do. So here's a guide. Let's take a look. Number one, educate yourself. Whether that's going to Bigger Pockets, great podcasts, great resource for especially new investors to very experienced investors, whether you're reading books, whether you're delving in, educate yourself about wholesaling, whether you connect with Do REI Deals, and I work with you to help you learn. Now, you want to constantly educate yourself, but you don't want that to be the end goal. Education, knowledge without application is just a just a dream. It's not worth it. Applied knowledge is power as opposed to just knowledge. So educate yourself, but that is not the end goal. You educate yourself to equip yourself to take action, to strengthen that faith, and to go out there and do what's really going to make things happen. All right, number two, constantly build your network. This whole world is a team sport. We are designed to be interdependent, not codependent, but interdependent with each other. The more I give to others, the more I'm able to receive. The more I'm able to receive, the more I'm able to give. And so we are designed to be in connection with each other. So the more people that you know, the more people that you can work with all across the board. So continue to build your network. Go to the real estate investing associations. Join the Facebook groups of these different spaces. Find one or two voices or podcasts or people that you really vibe with and jump into their groups and leverage their experience. And you'll find that many people are giving, many people are helpful, and many people will help you along the way. And you'll be able to do the same thing for others. So continue constantly build your network. Also, research the market you in. I definitely encourage you. There's a lot of talk out there about virtual. It's been out there for a while, virtual wholesaling, and it is possible. I'm in North Carolina. I still do a lot of work in Baltimore, Maryland, but that's where I actually started. I definitely recommend that you pick the place that's right there, your own backyard, at least within 30-mile radius. It's going to be a lot easier when you're actually, especially starting out, to get out to these properties, get on these appointments, really get inside the property so you understand the perspective of the seller, face to face, belly to belly, and you understand what these properties are looking like and what your end buyer is going to need. So there's a lot of ways you can research who's buying properties, what is the cash buyer activity in the last 6 months to a year, really 6 months in the area, and that'll help you narrow down at least zip codes if you're going to drive for dollars, which means you get literally in your car or in a vehicle or on your feet and go through different canvas, different spaces, look for properties that have some external sign of distress, overgrown grass, tattered windows, stuffed mailboxes, lock boxes, all type of things can show some type of distress. And those are a great way for folks to start out. But you may also pull a list, and you can pull the list with a zip code with certain criteria, knowing what people are buying. Oh, I see in the last 6 months, there's so many cash buyers for this area of 3 bed, 2 baths. That's what I need to look for then. And there's resources out there. Reach out to me if you want to know some tricks of the trade to really dig deep and get some really good data that doesn't take too long. You don't want to stay in, analysis and analyzing things too long. Just ready, shoot, aim. you know, Find deals. Oh my goodness, this could be a 12. This could be an ongoing podcast, hours and hours on how to find deals. There's so many ways to find deals. I suggest you pick one or two and go find them. I go through probate. Like I said, I help people. I've educated myself. I constantly educated myself. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. I'm not giving legal or financial advice. There's my disclaimer. But I do offer my experience and my opinions, and hopefully it helps folks. You may decide to go the driving for dollars route where you're looking for distressed properties, or maybe you're pulling list of code violations or foreclosure or divorce. There's tons of different ways to find deals. What does Robert Kiyosaki say? The deal of a lifetime comes along once a week. So you have to be consistent and you have to look for it. And as you educate yourself, you'll be able to see it more. That reticular activity, whatever you call it, when you go and trying to buy a red Charger, and then all of a sudden all you see is red Chargers on the road. Well, when you are looking for deals and know what a deal looks like because you've constantly educating yourself, you'll be able to see deals all over the place. So find the deals. That's our job. Investors don't necessarily want to find the deals. Their job is to manage the property or force the value in the through the flip, or just different things that involves when you're a real estate investor. We're really real estate marketers. We are marketers because a salesman or a marketer is solving somebody's wants and needs. And so finding deals is our job. Find people who have wants and needs, a pain, and see how we can make meaning in their world and alleviate that pain. All right, analyze the deal. Yes, you do need to know what your end buyers, particularly if it's you, but what your end buyer is going to be looking for. So knowing some of the rule of thumbs out there, the 70% rule for flipping a house, or the 1 or 2% rule for renting out. These are rules of thumbs which don't necessarily always work in some markets, but in most markets they will. But being able to see is important. This is what I do. I find, if I'm looking at a property, I'm interested in it, I go find out what are the comparable sales in that property. What are they selling for in that area? And then I get it for less than that. But I also have to think about what if there's rehab needed, or if there's holding costs needed, or all the stuff that's needed that the end buyer is going to have to take in consideration. What are they buying for? I get it at a disc. I get it lower than that, and then I'm able to make my spread in between. I can't force that on the seller, so it has to be sellers who I'm still able to scratch that itch or solve their problems, which goes back to you being able to find deals and work on your sales negotiation skills. Up and number six, negotiate contracts. Working on your communication skills is so important. Understanding so many different tools and having tools in your toolbox, tools in your tool belt that you can use and pull out is so important. Knowing that you don't want to confuse your sellers, don't want to confuse your buyers, don't want to make anyone feel less or bad by throwing out jargon or big words or, I love creative financing. I love working in things like subject to, and I take over the payments, or seller financing where the seller actually holds on to a note and we're able to pay over time, but I don't try to get bogged down in throwing out big words or confusing folks or trying to show that I, have my knowledge there. But I do work on being a empathetic person who can connect with folks who people can trust and shows a level of competency because people work with people that they trust, like, and think are competent. So that's my job to be able to do that and to be able to do that in a way where I'm not wasting their time by getting the property locked up too high and not being able to fulfill my end of the bargain. So it's very important to know how to negotiate contracts. Be like Kobe in the gym. This is what you're working on all the time, daily, consistently role plays. Don't necessarily work with live ammunition. Work with partners, people out there. Connect with me. I love role playing. There's a lot of great resources out there for folks who want to continue to work on their sales or negotiating skills. So important. Number seven, build your buyers list. Now, this could have gone in any place. So now we're getting to the point where all this stuff is happening concurrently. So again, going to the RIAs, networking with folks, being in those spaces, you will be able to build your buyers list. Working with other wholesalers who have buyers lists, you can leverage with them. I love joint venturing with folks and leveraging other people's buyers lists because I'm all about speed. Let's solve this problem. Let's get this thing out here. We're trying to trade speed and convenience for a discounted price. And so being able to leverage other people's buyers is important. Having your own buyers is definitely important too because you have more in your pocket that you're bringing home, which is awesome, which is pretty cool. Working with folks is awesome too. So continue to build your buyers list. That's could have gone really in any space, but there we're putting a seven here. Number eight, assign that contract. All right. So make sure you have the right materials in your contract that's going to protect you, protect the seller, and protect your buyer. Make sure you have the right language. You may not want to call it a EMD if you're not replacing the earnest money deposit. EMD is earnest money deposit, which you need for the original contract. So again, you're assigning. I don't know if I explained that as well earlier. When I get a property under contract, I'm assigning my rights to that contract to an end buyer or another person, which means I'm not doing a transaction of real estate. I'm doing a transaction of the contract. And so, for a contract to be valid, there has to be some vested interest in it, and that's usually monetary compensation, whether it's $1, $1,000, $10,000, whatever it is. And so that's the earnest money deposit. Quite often is the term used. When I sign my contract, I'm asking for a deposit, not necessarily earnest money deposit. So I don't want to confuse you all that. Feel free to reach out if you have questions. But it is important to make sure you have proper language that's protecting yourself. That does have a deposit, that's a substantial deposit. All mine are about $5,000, just in general, because even if it's a smaller purchase, want to make sure that this buyer knows that we're serious and that they're serious, and that if they walk away, they stand to lose, a amount that you're not going to just buck at for most people. So getting the contract signed, fulfilling your end of the bargain, and making sure the buyer fulfills their end and the seller is an important part of being a real estate wholesaler. Number nine, yeah, make sure that deal is closed. Having great relationships with wholesaling friendly, assignment friendly title companies, closing companies, escrow attorneys is so important. So make sure that you do that. You can go in any Facebook group and reverse engineer to go through their search engine and type in words or questions that people ask with your area, and you will find tons of posts. If you have the question, I'm sure it has to be asked before. So before you go in there and ask those questions, you can use the search on the Facebook groups and search that question, and you sure that it'll come up. But there's nothing wrong with asking questions as well, or just calling around. Get out your Google and look up title companies and find out, hey, are you do you assign contracts? Are you wholesaler friendly? Things of that nature. And number 10, continue to learn and grow. Learn and grow, and yeah, wholesaling is an awesome niche. It's something I don't think I'll ever give up or let go of, even as I go into other areas. It is great to be able to have the tool to find the property because that's where it all starts, right? You make your money on the buy. So it's a very important skill to have. So constantly continue to do that. All right, if you want to help with your journey, you can check out Do REI Deals. You can scan the code or reach out to me on my websites, doreideals.com or estateproservice.com, or Courtney at doreideals.com, or Courtney at estateproservice.com. You can reach out to me. All roads lead to Rome, and I'd love to sit with you, work with you, and see how we can be a part of each other's journey. Do REI Deals, new YouTube channel. Check it out. The Life in Transition Experts YouTube channel. Check it out and let your light shine. And do REI Deals. All right, peace.